Welcome along to Thursday's edition of NBL Now. Great to be with you as always. I'm Jack Heverin, Derek Rucker alongside me for our Thursday edition of NBL Now. And a bit of a strange one, Derek, as I say good morning to you. No game tonight.
No game tonight. And it's a good time for us to chat, though, because there's been so much going on in the past couple of days, and then big games ahead and exciting games, spectacles, open air games as well.
Let's get to them shortly. Why don't we start with the New Zealand Breakers? You and I have spoken a lot. I know you and Pete spoke about it on Moments That Mattered on Monday as well. Everyone's got an opinion on this New Zealand team. Let's not forget that they were second at the FIBA break, second on the ladder, and for there, things have completely fallen out of control. And thought it was an interesting statement from Lisa Edser, who's the Breakers CEO, initially talking about how Taco Fall came into the equation and that Freddie Gillespie wanted a release. And then Petteri Koppinen, their coach, saying that he believes that Taco is a better basketballer than Freddie Gillespie.
Well, there was so much going on in that statement put out by the Breakers, and I'm not sure that I agree with Coach Kopp. I think for our league, Freddie Gillespie was a better basketball player, and he did so much. This is a league where guys like Gillespie, undersized bigs, really thrive. And offensively, he was finding his range and was developing as a basketball player. Now, Coach Kopp is obviously in a tough position, Jack. He has to toe the company line. But I'm unwilling to toe that line when it impinges upon my credibility as a basketball evaluator. So I do not think in any country in the world Taco Fall is a better player than Freddie Gillespie. However, the Breakers did feel that there was marketability around Taco Fall, and they seek to gain off of his presence and who he is as an international kind of profile player.
That's fine, and I can see that side of it. And Lisa Edser spoke about that as well, said that it doesn't necessarily always translate. But isn't the best form of marketing winning?
And you're 100% correct. And in one of her quotes, she said that fans come out to support teams. That is partially true. That is not absolutely true. Fans rarely come out to support losing teams. Fans do come out to support great individual players. So it's not always about the team. Now, they have a fantastic culture in New Zealand. They've won plenty of championships, and they aim to get back. And they feel that Taco is part of the problem. But part of our job is to keep everyone accountable and check you when you're spending too much.
They've gone from second to second last. So the numbers don't lie. There's no hiding it right now. My question to you, though, Derek, is how does it change? How can they turn this around and potentially keep their season alive?
They got to change their spirit. They look defeated every time they take the floor now, and that's up to the leaders. You got to lift. You got to immediately forget what's transpired over the past few weeks. Taco's not going anywhere. Figure out how to utilize this to the best of your abilities and get Taco more included. I think strategically they've got to figure out how they can get the best out of him in pick and roll situations. And I said a couple of weeks, Jack, other teams love to see a 7'6" guy in the pick and roll playing drops.
Yes, they do. And some have already feasted on that one. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. The Tasmania JackJumpers have made a move earlier this week on Craig Sword. I'm surprised maybe that they've done it at this stage of the season, but perhaps it was because they found out that Ian Hummer was available. He comes in, last played in Japan. Numbers don't blow you off the page, but I don't think that matters with this JackJumpers team, does it?
It doesn't. And Scott Roth is so in tune to what is going to work with his team. And he felt that Craig Sword, almost from the jump, Jack, I never felt that Sword really was in the good books down there. He didn't seem like he was in Scott Roth's good graces. And he just never got an opportunity to show what he can do over an extended period of time, round to round. It was always he's in, he's out. So now they bring in Ian Hummer. And again, we have to give Scott Roth the benefit of the doubt based on his coaching talent and his ability to understand what he needs to make his team, pardon the pun, hum.
I knew you were going to do that. We've been working together for too long when I know what's going to come out of your mouth next. Speaking of what's coming out of people's mouths that is almost as confident as you are, this is Ian Hummer to News Corp. He said, put me on the floor, keep me in space, and keep me moving, and I'll be great for you.
Okay, so I like that confidence, Ian. Great job. But let me warn you, this league sometimes looks nice and cruisy and easy, and the weather's great, and the venues look like America. But let me tell you, when you get out there between those lines, don't get fooled. It is a very, very tough competition.
You jump on the NBL's social media at the moment, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. There's a really interesting video. Josh King was mic'd up for the throwdown on Sunday as part of In the Zone. I think it's the first time this season that they've done it with a coach. But just listening to the way that he talks about the game, the way that he addressed his men pre-game and set it all up, his record since coming in, Derek, and taking charge of this team, it speaks for itself.
It has, and even the games that they've lost, they've had really good chances to win in those games. But the game on Sunday was really impressive because they were down. And we've seen Southeast Melbourne over the years when they get in that battle against Melbourne United, that feeling of inferiority to Melbourne United starts to come to the front, and they kind of relent. They let Melbourne United do whatever they want. That didn't happen on Sunday, and they fought back, and they fought back hard. And even when Melbourne United made a real late run at them, they were able to make enough plays to win that game. And with Derek Walton Jr. out there, under the direction that Josh King has provided for the rest of the team, I thought Derek Walton Jr. looked really good in that role. And a lot of the credit, of course, we gave Sam McKinnon credit for his part that he played and kind of bridging to this point where Josh King could come in and do his thing. But Josh King deserves a lot of credit. He often looks kind of like a basketball mad scientist on the sidelines. But if you look at that piece on nbl.com.au, he has a lot more composure and poise. He's just not some crazy person out there running around, although I think that's part of his shtick. He may want you to believe that.
Maybe he does. And we're all believing it at the moment. And the thing with Josh King, Derek, is that he came in and he told everyone, and he had the reputation as being a defensively minded coach. What I think he deserves a lot of credit for is that he didn't pick this team, so he doesn't get to decide the roster and the makeup of it. So they scored 109 in the throwdown and they beat Melbourne United. In many ways, it's a tick to his coaching, isn't it? That he's decided, okay, well, that's how I do things normally, but this is how this group's going to have to do things to get wins.
Adaptability. The ability also to swallow your ego and understand what this group needs to be successful. And Jack, they are in the top 4 defensively in the league now. So he has certainly solidified them on that end, and has kind of proved a lot of doubters incorrect, because all along, a lot of us were saying that perhaps it was the personnel that Southeast Melbourne had assembled that was incapable of playing high-level defense. Well, that's been really thrown out. And the other big point is Jordy Hunter now looks like one of the best big men in the competition. So they've done something. Josh King has done something on the offensive end that has totally got Jordy playing at the level that I'm sure everyone down in the heartland had hoped for.
And has Nathan Sobey playing better basketball with better decisions. He's not perfect, Nathan Sobey. No one is. And we know that there'll be some times where the shot selection might not be perfect or he might throw one away. But, Derek, you've got to say, by and large, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, Nathan Sobey's game has been fantastic.
He doesn't look like he's rushing. And for him to find that correct speed with which he needs to play at is vital, because then he can always hit the jets. He can always hit turbo and really go for it and take his game and his athleticism to a level that few others in the competition can go to.
Illawarra Perth. Wow. This one has got all the makings of being an absolute clinker. This is the Sunday game, Channel 10, free to air, the whole works. I hope the whole nation watches this game.
High scoring. I mean, what more do we want? Tyler Harvey is playing outstanding basketball. Sam Frolling's great. There won't be a seat available in the venue. But then the big story, can Bryce go for 40 on the road in Illawarra? And that's an arena that I don't feel is very easy for opponents to score in. So if he can drop 40 there, then wow, it will be an amazing achievement. But also, Illawarra have some really good on-ball defenders. They've got Swakala Bullock.
Yep.
They've got Hickey. They've got Trey Kell. They've got Tyler Harvey. And those guys have length. They have athleticism. There are a lot of pieces that they can throw at Bryce. If he scores 40 plus in this one, Jack, I'm putting it as one of the top 3 achievements ever in the NBL.
If he scores 40 or more and he keeps going the way he's going, I don't know if my partner and I have got plans to have another child, but if we do, I'm calling it Bryce.
Let me tell you, he's starting to make me feel bad about my career, Jack.
Don't be silly.
He's starting to make me envious, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. He's just a marvel.
Yeah, and to the other side of the ledger, from a Perth perspective, they're going to have to put some work into Sam Froling, aren't they? You think back to that third quarter last week. Sam Froling changed the game, and we talk about Bryce's dominance, and I'm not comparing the two, but what in my long-winded point, what I am saying, Derek, is that Sam Froling had that look on his face in the third quarter where he's like, I'm the best player on the court, and no one can stop me.
And we know that he likes to torch Melbourne United. He's making a habit of it now. But the thing that he can take out of that game, again, is an elevated sense of confidence going back home for another big game. And this is probably something that Sam Froling isn't getting enough credit for, is he performs well in big games. He does not shy away from the occasion. He does a good job of staying out of foul trouble. He rebounded really well in that game. Also, I believe he had 11 rebounds. And if I was coaching Sam, that would be an aspect of his game that I would like to see higher and more consistent. 9-10 rebounds a game would be great for Sam, and he has the opportunity to do this on Sunday.
This round's going to be a great one. No game tonight, as I mentioned. Doubleheader tomorrow, New Zealand and Sydney in the early game from Spark Arena. And then the Brisbane Bullets, who are flying right now, take on the Cairns Taipans. The Bullets, a game away from the top 6 this round. I cannot wait for. We've got good games everywhere. Derek, you enjoy your Thursday, and we'll hear from you across the weekend.
All right, Jack. Have a good one.
Thank you for being with us on NBL Now as well. Don't forget, nbl.com.au is where you need to head to for all the latest news and information. We'll catch you tomorrow.